guy gets kicked from the European Parliament. I heard Buck. Oh, I hope the Buck Keith Belgium guy gets kicked from the European Parliament. DJ Odyssey says, well, the Earth flag from Buck Rogers is too hard for Anti-Tracker to do. Okay, now Anti-Tracker just went live. So I'm going to end the stream here. This is at the 8:28 mark. Anti-Tracker says, wait, I am lost. Is he saying that Trump eats fruity pebbles? Okay, so that's the last, and then Sassy's barking anyway. Thank you guys so much for coming here. I've already lost 2 people to Anti-Tracker stream. I'm gonna end the stream here. I'll see you guys over at Anti-Tracker stream. I will the Alexa. I don't know what you can do. Never mind. I'm gonna just copy and paste this. No, cancel. Cancel. Okay, I'm gonna copy this line, and I'll make another video with a follow-up of all these comments. So, kapla. Thank you guys. This has been a crazy stream, but thank you.
It's the Anti-Tracker.
We will return to your scheduled programming shortly, or we are currently experiencing technical difficulty.
What is going on YouTube? Michael J. Crawford, the Anti-Tracker here. And if you were wondering who that strange sounding voice was, that was Bird of Prey 5, at least the last couple of minutes of his live stream. I just couldn't stop watching. I love listening to Bird of Prey 5. He has such a wonderful voice for just relaxing and you know, when I'll tell you, I like having his live stream on while I'm doing work more than just about anybody else, because he's just got a great voice for that. So, hey, and I see you are here. By the way, Bird of Prey, the last 2 minutes of your live stream are actually simulcast on my stream, except with the fish, in case you were wondering. So yeah, when I went live, it went live with you. So I want to say one thing real quick, because I know that right here when we first got started, Josh was like, "Hey, I hope this is Mrs. Anti-Tracker's reaction to Orville." Mrs. Anti-Tracker's not going to be on right now, but because she's actually resting. It's been a busy day so far. However, she and Joshua have been plotting behind my back, working on a super chat animation. I have no idea what it is. I genuinely don't. I know that they've been working on it, and she says it'll be ready soon. She says it's going to be totally epic, that you guys are going to love it. And she said that when I premiere that super chat, that she will come on and talk to people about it. So, so I am looking forward to that. Is that why Anti-Tracker joins Bird's stream and it's basically silent? No, Bird wasn't silent. It just took him an hour to get to realize I was even there. But you know, that's not everybody can go at the same pace. I understand that, and you know, Bird had to go on his rant about Donald Trump and Fruity Pebbles, I guess. Yeah, that was weird. Anyway, so today we're going to have Alexa call Mom. And we're going to talk about the Orville, latest episode of the Orville, Blood of Patriots. So this, of course, is Season 2, Episode 10 of the Orville. The episode following, of course, the epic Kalon battle, I guess you could say, that so things in the galaxy of the Union have definitely taken a turn for the worse in that they now have an enemy of the Kalon, and the Kalon are very, very powerful. So that I'm assuming there's going to be some repercussions from that. From what I remember of the trailer for it, I know it involves like peace talks with the Krill, which would make sense because if the Krill and the Union are both outmatched individually by the Kalon, but together they could, they obviously proved that they could take on the Kalon. That just makes perfect sense for them to have a permanent alliance. The Ben Talk shows $10, well, $9.99 in. Thank you so much. The Ben Talk says, just got done watching your STD review and agree it was an okay episode, but glad to see the punching bag I sent still got a little workout. Yes, I have it right here. Thank you so much. This thing is awesome now that I figured out how to inflate the stupid thing. And I'll tell you, here's the thing. This is the little pump for inflating it, the little needle that you poke into it. But the weird thing is the needle was not attached to the pump when you open it. It's hidden inside of this. And it's like so stupid to try and figure out how to do that. So, there was extremely little humor in this episode. Biggest bit was boarding red tape. That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting because last episode I think they really dialed up the humor. So if it's held back a little, that's kind of going to be an interesting contrast. So let me get things set up here. And first and foremost, if you are so interested, you can go to the Discord, and on my Discord server there is a room called the Live Stream Simulcast. The only reason that you may want to go there is if you want to be able to hear the Orville audio while I'm watching it, because obviously I can't have it playing during a actual live stream on YouTube, or else I'll get shut down by YouTube. Thomas says, well, with the $1.99, the Orville episode was good, not great. Okay, I'll take your word for it at this point, but Orville. The nice thing about Orville, they're kind of like, in my opinion, Marvel movies. When they're not, when the worst we've seen of the Orville is still watchable. There hasn't been an Orville episode that I'm like, jeez, I hated that one. There have just been episodes where it's like, yeah, that one was okay. But number 8, of course. And by the way, of course, Ben Talks, if you want a Super Chat, Uber Chat, or even Mega Chat award, you certainly have the right to one. So let me know. In the meantime, let me bring up number 8 for Thomas, who just agrees with me. The Bird of Prey has got such a wonderful melodic voice that he can improve anything, even a masterpiece of filmmaking.
Anal na trach, was betad, doch hel dienle.
Ariel Natris Oris Bazi Bedhead Duchel Dementa. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
There it is. And Joseph throws in a couple of euros, says, what's that Ray Burnham Doctor reward called? Well, you can call 2 things. Wamen is the most common thing to call it, or you can just say Super Chat number 1.
I'm a better female character than you.
You would be if you didn't spend all your time with that temper tantrum mean guy.
At least I'm not the one on a show with a questionable acronym.
Take it back.
No. Yes.
Oops. Sorry to bother you.
And Mercer, I'm just gonna put this out there. I know you're not. You know, a lot of people were really offended by what Waspinator did. I don't blame you. I'm with you on that. Obviously, it was an attack against me, but he's not worth the effort of even talking about it at this point. So, as far as I'm concerned, he's just proving my point that, you know, he has nothing. If that's the best you can do, you've got nothing. If all you can do is hurl insults and think that you're being funny by insulting the genetics of a family, whatever, dude. Get a life. Find something real to talk about and have a nice day. Anyway, and Mercer kind of agrees with what Thomas was saying. This episode was okay, not great. I enjoyed it as kind of a mid-season episode, kind of like past prologue. I got the punching bag in here, but I don't think I'm going to need the punching bag too much because it is Orville, and Orville is generally pretty solid. And Mr. Miles, I like the final cut. I'm gonna probably tweak it just a smidge before I put it up, and I'll put it up tomorrow. And by the way, for those of you that don't know, Mr. Miles definitely deserves a round of applause because he's been taking on as kind of a learning how to edit video and stuff. He's been grabbing clips from my live streams and putting it together for your enjoyment. Mercer wants to know, do I ever get sick of a super chat? Not so far, because I rotate them out a little bit. You know, like there's and you guys, it's funny because it's like you guys flock to a few of them. Like right now, Super Chat number 8. Obviously, Thomas loves that one. Uber Chat number 6. The Bird of Prey chat. You know, there's been less of Mega Chat number 1 and Mega Chat number 5 lately, but I think it's because the Bird of Prey chat was so epic. However, I'm thinking about modifying the Bird of Prey chat to have it be a duet of Bird of Prey and Lore Reloaded and see how that goes. So, let me get things set up here. I'm already live in there. I see Bird of Prey and Thomas are in the Discord room, so I'm sure you guys will let me know if there's any major problems there. All right, we'll get that queued up. All right, so this is obviously the basic setup. Got the Fox logo going here. We're going to check out all that. How to get Worf to say Bird of Prey? Very, very simple, Mercer. I dug around when he was referring to a Klingon Bird of Prey and then edited that together with the fact that he said that there was a planet. I can't remember the name of the system, but it was like something like, oh, there's a distress call from the planet McClintock 5. And so then I took out McClintock, put in Bird of Prey from another episode. So he says, I have a distress call from Bird of Prey 5. So that's how it works. And by the way, Fred, no. Disney did not buy Fox. Disney bought Fox's intellectual properties. Fox will still be Fox, but Fox is reducing themselves down to basically just sports and news. So let's see. So first thing I need to do is mute the audio so Fox doesn't sue me. And let's go back to the main camera and see what we have to get here. And while that's starting up, I need to... The nuances are a bit elusive. Well, you know, if you're talking about the editing stuff, well, it's fun, but, you know, it's not for everybody because you have to be extremely patient. There we go. So we start out with Captain Mercer giving Yaphet an award for his going above and beyond the call of duty. Is the Orville audio too loud on Discord? I'll see if I can bring it down a little bit. Tell me if that's better, Bird. So we have Gordon with some drinks. Bring it over the gang. And I got to say, it's funny seeing, you know, Gordon was so on in the last couple of episodes. So, yeah, Yaphet versus Michael Burnham. I think that Yaphet could be the only person to satisfy Michael Burnham sexually. Anyway, I've seen both Alita Battle Angel and Captain Marvel within the last 2 weeks, and I can unequivocally say that Alita is far superior. Time to watch Captain America on Blu-ray. Hashtag me poo. I'll tell you, I haven't seen Alita yet. I don't doubt you because I've heard a lot of good things about Alita. I didn't think Captain Marvel was nearly as bad as some people are saying, but I understand. But if Alita is a good movie, I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's just I had to make a call as to what to see because only got so many ducats in my pocket to spend on that kind of thing. Anyway, let me get back to the Orville here. So we have the gang standing around getting ready to take a shot, but Mercer is kind of leery about drinking this stuff, whatever it is. It's supposedly very powerful. And Mercer dumps it over his shoulder because he's afraid to drink it. And so cute little moment, you know, they're just hanging out. And now but then Mercer gets a call to go that there's a priority 1 signal coming from the Admiralty. So, of course, he's going to have to check that out. Was the fish on the camera? I didn't see him. A little bit of ship porn. Oh, and Ted Danson is the Admiral today. I do like him. So yeah, he's filling in Captain Mercer that the Krill are willing to talk about peace now, which only makes sense. You know, and this is interesting. And I got to say, this is as far, and I can tolerate this, and this is definitely tolerating. I can tolerate Seth's political stuff, but I don't like the way they did this. Is that basically they're saying that there are progressives, this is the word they just used, progressives in the Krill Empire that are willing to talk peace. Like, for some reason, conservatives will not talk peace, of course, because they're evil, mean old conservatives. But the progressives will. No. Anyway, and Fred says, how much longer till Kelly drops below the 100-pound threshold? You ain't kidding. You know, both me and Mrs. Antrecker have noticed lately. I mean, she has just lost way too much weight. She needs to eat a few cheeseburgers. I don't know what the actress's name is, but man, if you ever see this, please eat some cheeseburgers because you look good when you got some meat on your bones, but you ain't got no meat on your bones. So, is it Norm or Diane is a? I think it's Norm would probably be his aide in this one. But yeah, Kelly definitely needs some pie. Absolutely. We have got to get her some food. In fact, we should all be sending that actress, you know, forget about sending fan letters asking for autographs. Start sending her cookies and cheeseburgers and stuff. That's what we need to do. So, Mercer is trying to say that, you know, what about sending a diplomat? That would be better because they want the Orville to actually be the first olive branch on the peace treaty. And he makes a valid point that a diplomat should be there, but the admirals are like, well, yeah, but you're the only person that's had any long-term contact with the Krill. But none of that was on good terms, really. And the ship they're going to meet up with, the name of the ship translates to Bringer of Blood. Gotta love that. Can I donate a cheeseburger through Diet? You can, Pink Pancakes. You absolutely can. Well, you can donate the monetary value equivalent to a cheeseburger, which, by the way, of course, I insist on sending her nothing but the finest Kobe beef cheeseburgers, so that would be a minimum of $100, just so you know. All right, so we get another nice, you know, and I gotta say, really starting with Identity Part 1, they really stepped up the ship porn on the Orville. I mean, Seth MacFarlane, I say give the man a lot of props. I think he listened to the fans, and the fans like, I mean, let's be real. We all, you know, those of us that are old school Star Trek fans, we love ship porn, right? That's why Star Trek the Motion Picture made money, despite it being an insanely boring film, is the ship porn. And they do it again here, and just, they keep, it's just awesome. Darren says the stream is dropping. Is that dropping for everybody or just Darren? Because on my side, it seems like it's been pretty solid. But let me know, guys, if the rest of you having problems. In the meantime, Thomas throws a $1.99, says the Kelly actress has celiac disease. Is that true facts? I don't even know what that is. The name sounds vaguely familiar, but I have no idea what that is. In the meantime, number 9 it is. Oh, yeah, no sound. I'm an idiot. Let's try that again, huh?
Blah, 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 S2D is bad, blah, 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 Ray is too perfect to even exist, blah, 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 blah.
There you go. Oh, yeah, gluten allergy. Yeah, also known as the, what's it called? Oh, yeah, the fake disease. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I know that there are people that are genuinely allergic to gluten, but you know what? There are so many people that just say, oh, I'm allergic to gluten, and what they really mean is they don't want to eat it because they've heard that it'll be wonderful if they don't. But, yeah. And unfortunately, you see, I'm not allergic to gluten, but Mrs. Antichecker has me cutting back on the carbs and gluten and stuff because it is healthier, but I still prefer to eat the stuff. Joseph throws another €2 and Kelly moved her weight to Tilly. Oh, man, you got me there. Play number something. Number something? How am I supposed to pick number something? So, all right, I'll tell you what. I will close my eyes and hit one. Let's see. Let's see. Number something, huh? Well, I have no idea which one I'm going to hit. I hit something. There we go. And Andre, I did see you posted a minute ago. I'm sorry I didn't catch it. But welcome from Bosnia. I hope that you are doing well, and I hope things are doing well on your side of the planet. Over here, we have no idea what's going on in Bosnia because we don't get a lot of that in our news. Trigger, blue text on green background isn't legible. Yeah, I need to do something with that. You're right. I should probably work on that. So, yes. I'm trying to, yeah, I'll definitely come up with something better. You're right. That's not very legible. And so I blame Mr. Miles. That's why I'm going to stick with that. All right, let's move on. Otherwise, I'm never going to get through this. All right, so the Orville is approaching. Kelly really needs to eat. I mean, every time I look at her, she just really needs to eat. She probably thinks she looks great, though. I mean, that's the thing about these Hollywood actresses. They lose a ton of weight because some person said they look fat at some angle or whatever. All right, so there's a shuttle, a Krill shuttle being fired at by the Krill battleship. And the shuttle is sent to the stressing of the Orville. And, of course, Captain Mercer, without hesitation, tells the shuttle to, well, tells them to go ahead and let it land, which I'm surprised, to be honest with you, that he would do that. because I don't understand why you would do that. Oh man, Kelly, eat. Oh my god. And the funny thing, see, she's all the weight she's lost. And I'm sorry to keep talking about this, but this last shot was just horrible. Let me pause it at the right moment here. Is that whoop, that's not what I meant to hit. Let's go to the STD. Okay, there we go. So if you look at her here, it looks like she's lost like everything in her legs, right? Her look at those legs. There's nothing there. She has no hips at all. They're gone. And and don't get me wrong, she used to. If you look at her in some of her older work, she had some curves there. However, she still has breasts, which either they're implants or she just whatever. But she looks horrible. She needs to freaking eat. I'm sorry, and I don't mean to go off on it, but she needs to eat. I'm sorry. I gotta stop, but that just bothers me. It really does. It's just, I don't understand why you would do that to yourself. I mean, there are some women that have a very small frame. And, you know, like, for example, Sonequa Martin Green, right? Sonequa Martin Green is an extremely petite actress, but she looks natural being very small. She does not, right? And so, and Tentacle, no, it's not that I like fatties, but I don't think that she looks natural this thin. But that's just me. All right, let's move on. So after she runs in, all right, so Tala's ripping the door off. I do like that the Chilean strength thing. They definitely like to play up, and they do a good job with it visually. So on the shuttle, human. I was actually expecting him to be a krill, but no, human, man and girl looks like. So, Gordon recognizes the dude. And very serious look on Gordon there. So, and I'll show you. Gordon generally, everything Gordon does is generally for laughs. But this is about the most serious thing I've seen a look on his face as far as in this show. Where he sees someone he obviously has not seen in a long time, and he's absolutely shocked. And so Mercer says, I will admit, I don't entirely like the new security officer. I liked, I can't remember what her name was, the original security officer better, but I mean, she's all right. I still like just the Chilean strength thing. I think they do a good job of it. But yeah. Gordon says a surprising amount of range, or I should say Scott Grimes. Yes, you're absolutely right. He is really a stronger actor than we give him credit for because we just think of him as the goof. All right, so now we get our beautiful Orville credits. And, you know, I just really, even though I don't want to skip the credits because they're so beautiful, I don't want to be here all day. I do really appreciate the production quality on this show because even though, you know, it's like Star Trek Discovery goes all dialing it up to 11 with the CGI, making every part of space looking like it's full of nebula and clouds and multicolor. You know, on Orville, you know, here's a typical shot right here. Space looks like space, right? It's just freaking space. Not everywhere in space has to be inside of a nebula. Not everywhere in space has to have 17 planets around. So this, I actually like this better because when they are in a nebula, something looks more special. But if you look at the lighting here, and the fact that they're using practical models and all that, it just makes a huge difference. And so, didn't TNG kill off Tasha Yar in season 2? Was it season 2 or... Yeah, was it season 2 or late season 1? I'm trying to remember, but yeah. Anyway, let's get back to it. Yeah, Skin of Evil I know was the episode, and it was a horrible episode, but yeah. So the Krill are saying that the dude that's obviously a friend of Gordon is responsible for destroying 3 ships. And they're saying, how could you do that with just a shuttle? And it's because he has some kind of weapon, but they don't know what the weapon is. So they're saying, you know, there was nothing on the shuttle. They don't know what they're talking about. Yeah. Apparently you have a higher percentage of dying in TOS if you have a gold shirt. Random statement. No, the red shirt thing is a little bit of a myth, but it's still a fun one. So Talo's saying she's going to delay the Krill with boarding regulations. That should be interesting. So apparently Gordon and Oren, the person that they found on the shuttle, have been best friends for his childhood up through graduating the academy. But then I guess, yeah, his wife was killed and he and his daughter disappeared. So that's apparently them. So yes. And Trekker, haven't you noticed all the former Trek people behind the camera working on Orville? That's why things look the way they do. Oh, yeah, I know that there's a lot of Trek alum that work on Orville, and I appreciate that a lot. But I think that's by design, and I give Seth a lot of credit for it, because this is Seth's baby. It's kind of dumb here. So what if he destroyed 3 ships? They were at war. It's his job to take out Krill ships. Are they at war, though? I mean, or has it just been hostile relations? So the girl is unwilling to submit to a medical examination, and and Dad is saying, well, it's because of all the crap that they went through at the hands of the Krill. I'm thinking there's more to it than that. I think that they're hiding something, and it has to do with her, and that a medical examination will bring it up. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, so Gordon and Oren are reuniting. So Oren's so the captain is explaining to Oren that, yeah, got to do something about that. That's a man, baby. Oh, is that what it is? So it's really a man? Okay. That's, of course, where you would go, Bird of Prey, because you're really into the gay stuff, I know. I mean, by the way, if you don't believe me, go watch some of Bird of Prey's streams. He's constantly talking about gay stuff, and the way he says it, he's like, oh, I don't like that gay stuff. Like, he's like, I really like that gay stuff, but I can't admit it. So, you know, we know the truth, Bird of Prey. So Oren is denying that he destroyed the Krill ships, and he's saying he didn't even know there was a ceasefire. So I do like this. Tawa is working on the boarding regulations and just basically keeping them delayed by making them answer stupid questions. That's really cool. The Fed throws 50 fake Australian dollars in. Thank you so much, the Fed. I'm blown away. Thank you, my friend. I know that 50 Australian dollars is only like $1.98 here in the United States, but thank you. I'm just kidding. There's a little down payment on a better webcam, since I think you were complaining about your current one earlier. I was complaining about it last night. You can see how ridiculously dark this looks. When I switch to my alternate view, this webcam over here is like a cheapo little webcam. But the problem is I can't mount it on up here to where it would work. So yes, I am looking around at trying to find a better webcam, something that will work better for me. So thank you so much. I do truly appreciate it, the Fed. And so, of course, if you want a super chat, uber chat, or even mega chat, or even a Bird of Prey chat reward, you absolutely have the right to. So let me know, because I don't want your 50 fake Australian dollars to go for nothing besides the webcam, of course. So tell me what if there's anything that you want. Please know Michelle O. Is Bird saying Michelle O is guest starring? Oh, I don't know. So go with the Bird of Prey. Okay, so speaking of Bird of Prey, so Bird, you should be very proud of yourself. So this is the so Bird of Prey. This is the one of the biggest super chats I've gotten in recent times, and he's picking you, my friend. So be very proud. Be very, very proud. I better unmute this so that you guys can hear. And for those of you that have not seen it before, the Bird of Prey reward is actually I feel so blessed to have found this. There was a episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation that was filmed but never aired, and I managed to get a hold of the actual episode. So here it is, the lost episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Captain's log, stardate 44307.3. I'm preparing to leave my shuttlecraft for Pentaris 5, where I've been asked to mediate a dispute among the Salinite miners. A contentious group, unfortunately prone to violence. But first, I must deal with a situation of a far more personal nature.
What better way to get first-hand experience?
Captain, I'm picking up a general distress signal from Bird of Prey 5.
On screen.
Feel the fire, feel my love inside you so bright. There's the sound and the smell of love on my mind. I'm your toy, come play with me. Say the word now. Wrap your legs around me. Ride me tonight.
My love is a fever, longing still for that which longer nurseth the disease.
I'm a man, I'm a goddess. I'm a man, I'm a virgin. I'm a man, I'm a blue movie. I'm a man, I'm a bitch. I'm a man, I'm a geyser. I'm a man, I'm a little girl. And we'll make love together. This sounds very pedo-ish.
In faith, I do not love thee with mine eyes, for they in thee 1,000 errors see, but 'tis my heart that loves what they despise, who, in despite of view, art pleased to dote. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate.
What? Oh my God.
When I have plucked the rose, I cannot give it vital growth again. It needs, must wither.
Why are you saying these things? Music to make love to an old ladybug.
You wonderfully jealous fool, you.
Wow, well that's basically rape. That is rape as a song. Congratulations. I gotta go turn myself in.
All right, Bird of Prey, you better go turn yourself in, because you just raped the ears of everybody here. That's 51 counts of rape on your conscience there, Bird. So you think Majel Barrett was hotter as number one? I never really considered Majel Barrett a hottie, to be honest with you. But, you know, to each their own. Anyway, let's get back into this episode. By the way, if you know, it's funny because with number one's triumphant return on Star Trek Discovery, where she shows up for 30 seconds and leaves, They really should have brought her onto the show. I think that, but yeah. So let's continue on. So. So she's working on delaying the krill, and so she pulls out a bunch of plastic containers to give to the krill so they could give her a urine sample. That's good. That is good. I wonder what krill urine even looks like. That's good. All right, let's continue on. Yeah, it's like, so let's see here. So she's telling him to go behind the crates on the shuttle bay and pee into these cups. And so the krill are begrudgingly taking their pee cups and going to the pee corner. There we go. So now Mercer is studying some stuff. So she's saying that she's run out of ways to delay them. She's got to let them in. And so, is it me or is your mic muted? It should be. You guys can hear me, right? Because not everybody's complaining. They need a race that continually pees on the floor. I don't know. That would be a bit much, I think, even for them. So she's run out of ways to stop them. And so she's basically telling Captain Mercer, look, I got to let him in. And he's like, please, just give me 5 more minutes. So, all right, that's good. So that I got to show you. That's really good. So let me bring it up here for you to see. This is the money shot right here.
Tell her, just 5 minutes.
Understood.
Oh, that is so wrong. So and could you imagine what she is going through just to help out her captain? That's good. So yes. So Mercer's hanging out with Gordon. They're looking at the Union intelligence briefings about. He's trying to see if there's any confirmation to the destruction of the destruction of the krill ships. Admiral, have I watched Discovery yet? Yes. I did a review of the Discovery episode last night. It's the best episode of Discovery thus far, and I actually enjoyed it. For the first time, I can say that overall, I actually enjoyed a Discovery episode. I'm shocked to say that. I truly am, because you guys know how I feel about Discovery, but it was good. It was genuinely good. So Gordon is suggesting that instead of turning over their prisoner, that they should offer the krill-free back rubs. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. So the krill are saying, basically, when are you going to turn them back over? So they're basically saying he's guilty of about 1,200 counts of murder because of the crews of those krill vessels. And they're trying to say, how could one man in a stolen shuttle take out all these starships? And they said they don't know. That's why they want him, so they can interrogate him. But krill interrogation means torture, probably death. So they don't want to give him up. So Mercer is trying to appeal to their humanity, for lack of a better term, basically saying, look, you know, we have a chance to save millions of lives by ending the hostilities, and you guys want to fight over this one dude. To which the Krill are like, no, you're giving us that dude or we are not signing the peace treaty. And here's the thing. I'm really thinking, even though I know it would kind of go against Seth's political beliefs, because we know Seth is an atheist and a far left progressive. And again, just like with Brie Larson and everything else, I don't care as long as it doesn't dictate everything on the show. I think Seth has a little more integrity than a lot of people in Hollywood, though, and I think he might be willing to write a story where someone that holds a position he doesn't agree with might be in the right. And I'm thinking the way they're laying this out, I think the Krill are innocent here. I think the Krill have genuinely been wronged somehow, and you know, Mercer's kind of stuck. Because what do you do when they got a, you know, you got a human here who really was a terrorist or something? Rome Hater says, I prefer Enterprise to Avis. You know, I really do. I would love to see them do a joke about that. You know. SJWs hate Seth MacFarlane because he's too honest, makes fun of their sacred... Well, that's the thing, because it's funny because Seth is one of them. You know, and that's the thing. I get it. I've seen Seth in interviews, sometimes being serious, sometimes joking around. Seth is clearly a far left progressive, but he puts his art ahead of his personal ideology, as he should. You know, so I don't have a problem. You know, I don't care what his political opinions are, generally speaking, as long as it doesn't ruin his work. And that's where you have a problem with things like The Last Jedi and most of Star Trek Discovery. And so far, it's reared its ugly head in subtle ways here and there in Orville, but not heavy-handed and not in a way that I find truly offensive. Like when the Admiral referred to the good Krill as progressives. You know, you get stuff like that, but you're not getting like this over-the-top heavy-handed thing. But anyway, like I said, I think that this is a genuine dilemma for Captain Mercer, because especially if it turns out that Oren really did do something nasty. Which that's my gut telling me that I think it would be too easy if Oren was just innocent. That would be the classic Star Trek way to go, but I don't think that's the case here. So in a rare move of continuity, we see the same game that Isaac was playing with the kids in Identity. Now the catatonic girl is playing it. And so Oren and Gordon are hanging out while Oren's daughter is playing with the game. So, and oh, thank you for reminding me. Where is that? Hold on. Now I just remembered. I knew there was something wrong with this live stream. Ah, shoot. Where did I put that thing? Well, darn it. Oh, well. I knew I blew it. Oh, well, I'll have to worry about it next time. All right, so... So he's talking about how his daughter is actually pretty tough, but yeah. And Gordon is genuinely... Maybe I'm sitting... No, I'm not. Oh, there it is. There it is. There. Okay. There we go. That's better. So this is a pretty serious episode for Gordon. He's doing a good job. And Oren clearly is, you know, he's being kind of passive-aggressive by reminding Gordon of the fact that Gordon's lived in relative comfort while he's been suffering in a prison camp. When Gordon was trying to say how sorry he was, and he was like, oh, you don't have anything to be sorry about. You were just, you know, trying to decide whether to keep that mohawk while I was suffering for 20 years, you know, and it's like, really, dude? Let's see. Fred says, Oren is a Union citizen and an Allied combatant. I'd tell the Krill to go stuff it. Well, here's the thing, though, is that the Krill are accusing him of destroying 3 ships after a ceasefire was declared. And so if that's the case, I don't think that they're unreasonable by demanding extradition. Okay, yeah, I'm about 90% sure he's up to something now, because he's now trying to convince Gordon that peace with the Krill would be a mistake. And so he clearly thinks that we should we should continue fighting them. A ceasefire has no bearing on Krill prisoners. Well, I get that, Bird, but at the same time, if the guy is a genuine terrorist, he's a genuine terrorist. I mean, if we flipped it around, if you had some Krill operative, or even a Krill civilian acting on their own, destroying 3 Union ships through some kind of sabotage or secret weapon that they have, do you really think that the Union would say, oh, yeah, you guys can have him? Where he'll be celebrated as a hero? No. He will be tried for his crimes. We also know that Krill ships have children on them. Yeah, just like Galaxy-class starships, huh? He broke out of a Krill prison to destroy 3 ships, and destroyed 3 ships. So what, he doesn't know about the ceasefire? Maybe so, but I'm just saying that the Krill, I mean, if this guy is on his own, has taken out 3 ships, you know, I think that if it was any nation, somebody did that much damage, they would want to try him for crimes. Especially if there's not a shooting war. Because there's not a shooting war between the Krill and the Union. They're just hostile towards each other. Okay, so proof that Seth MacFarlane not only loves Star Trek, but loves Futurama as well. Because they just brought out their version of a holophoner. So so she's playing this musical instrument. See, it's a holophoner. And Bird of Prey, I know that the Krill have done some bad things, but I'm not defending either side in the war. I'm just saying that I don't think that the Krill are unreasonable in wanting someone who's single-handedly responsible for the destruction of multiple ships. I'm just saying, I don't think that that's an unreasonable thing. Okay, so nice little ship porn shot of the Orville. So the Krill have left, by the way. They're coming back in a little bit, and they say you're either going to turn the guy over or we're not signing the peace treaty. So Mercer's talking to the chief of security about Oren, whether or not she trusts him. She says she doesn't. I don't either. I think her gut is right. I think he's up to something. So, you know, and they're talking again how they scanned the shuttle and they didn't find any weapons. She said she'll check again, but she's pretty sure that they'll still not find any weapons, which, again, I think flies back into the face of the fact that his daughter would not submit to a medical check. Like, maybe she has something in her or something like that. You know, that's how they're smuggling some kind of uber weapon. So you can figure out Talia's running joke in this episode. It happens every episode that she's been in. See if you notice. I'm not sure what you mean. Just for clarification, it's not the peace treaty. It's a formal declaration to begin peace talks. Fair enough, but yeah, but you can't get to a peace treaty without getting past that formal declaration. And now... So I don't know what this character's name is. The big-headed dude here. He's so funny. I tell you, he's. I do like him. But yeah, so they're having a discussion right now about having Dan. Thank you. Dan is hilarious. I love Dan, and I didn't realize. Yeah, he's Lieutenant Dan, isn't he? Sweetness. But yeah, so he's talking to this guy that looks like he's a tumor head about doing like casual dress days in the engine room where they could just wear a t-shirt or something. Now Oren comes into the engine room, just kind of wandering around. So is it Anthony, I think, the engineer, is talking to him, and they're running around looking at the engine room. And so he tells him he can poke around. I would probably not trust him. I know, you know, Hector, I know under that makeup I'd know him because I know that voice, but I can't quite place it. Is it John? He's John. Okay. I get the names mixed up. I'm so bad. I'm only just now getting Gordon down because wash out your mouth with Gordon. That everybody needs a line like that so that you can remember. And Ensign Ricky throws a couple bucks in and says, anything, is that Zillion? Looks great. Drinks, tech, etc. Is that, what race is that? That's like, you're, now you're making me Google that because, let's see. Zillion, that's not coming up with anything. Oh, Selayan. Yes, the Selayans. Yeah, not. I don't think it's. I don't know if it's spelled with an X because it doesn't come up with anything on Google. But Mark's like that. Yeah, but yes. But yeah, I do think that they're a cool race. I think that they're interesting, and you know, that's yeah. I want to say Selayan alien species, and let's see, sapience level sapient. Okay, that's a really weak wiki page there. All right, but Talia's running joke is that she gets shot in every episode. Does she get shot? I'm gonna have to go back and look again. Does she get shot all the time? I'm going to have to re-look at that because I know she got shot in Identity, but I'd have to go back and rewatch it. But that's funny if she gets shot all the time. Because, of course, she got shot by the Kalons and survived. Okay, he's up to something. Now he's poking around in the, Orange poking around in the engine room looking for something. So he is definitely doing something fishy, terroristy kind of thing. Got shot in Identity 2 in the shuttle bay. Yes. And so while Oren's poking around looking for something, she comes in, speaking of her, Talia, and she kind of catches him snooping around. And yes, she is a red shirt. Maybe she's Seth's version of Riker or O'Brien. Yeah. I don't know, but I like her, you know. I liked, what's her name, the first one more. But I still like her. I think she's cool. Mrs. Anti-Checker, I think, likes her better than was it Alara, I think? Something like that. But, yeah, Alara. Mrs. Anti-Checker likes her better than Alara. I like the Alara a little more. So another beautiful ship porn shot. I gotta say, every time they show the freaking Orville, it's funny because when I first watched this show, when it first premiered for season 1, I was not a fan of the design of the ship. However, it's growing on me. I still am not the biggest fan of the quantum drive spires coming off the back, but at the same time, the design of the ship is really growing on me, and I think that part of the reason that's really growing on me is the fact that they're doing much, much better with their ship porn, especially the last few episodes. Because they're making this ship look as good as it possibly can. I also, and this is something that I've talked about before, as far as how to make a good Star Trek show and stuff, is that the Orville is not an OP ship. And in fact, it's pretty small. It's smaller. I mean, based on what I'm looking at here, if you look at the decks and stuff and the windows, this ship is significantly smaller than a Constitution class ship. And so I like that a lot. Yeah, quantum drive has to be at least 25% different than warp nacelles. Well, they've definitely achieved that. That is for sure. So she's filling in Mercer and Scrawny Chicken about the fact that Oren was sneaking around. I mean, I'm sorry, again, look at how skinny Kelly is. And what's funny is that right now her boobs have disappeared. Where'd her boobs go? Because when we saw her earlier, her boobs were all sticking out. Now they're gone. I mean, they're seriously gone. What happened? Did she have the implants removed? I'm genuinely confused here. Because earlier in this episode, maybe they're what happened? I mean, am I going crazy? Or are her boobs missing? No, she was standing when she was when she ran. Look, all right, let me mark where we're at. So right now we're at like 22:57. All right, let's go. So look at her here. Get a good look at her right here. And now let's see if we can find. Let me go. There's where it's about to crash. Dang it. Keep going too far. There. Look at her there. All right. Clearly you can see them there. I mean, yes, she still looks way too skinny. But they just like disappeared. I mean, that's just kind of weird. Bird Prey says, bring up a season 1 episode. Well, I don't have time to do that unless we're just going to not finish the show, because I got to get this done soon. Because I got something to do with Mrs. Antricker a little bit later. But, yeah, it's not a fatty fetish tentacle. It's just weird to me. You don't think that's odd? That it's got to be, yeah, you're right. I'm sure it's the angle and the lighting, Mage, but it just seems really weird. The way they shot that, it's just kind of bizarre. It does seem like, though, that they yeah, I'm gonna have to do a video about that. I'm seriously going to have to do that. I think she is on a destructive diet. I truly do, Fred, because she has lost way too much weight. And like, okay, so here you can see now Grant, whoop, now I'm in the way, but if I move there, you can kind of see there. But even there, they look smaller than they probably should. And I'm not trying to pick on her. I know that you know, it's not, I just don't like the women, particularly actors, are so obsessed with becoming thin that they actually damage their bodies to become more and more thin. And yes, Mercer, my main webcam is extremely dark. That's why I'm looking at replacing the stupid thing. But yeah, can't read the hat. I apologize. There, I'll get closer so you can read the hat there. This hat is a gift from none other than Bird of Prey 5. So thank you, Bird of Prey 5, for this hat. I do love it. And Rome, welcome to the live stream. First time viewing. So you don't like women actors? No, not necessarily, Thomas. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman. I don't like when, and by the way, guys can do this too. Like, it's like with guys, it tends to be the opposite, where guys like start working out to an extreme because they feel like they have to look like Chris Hemsworth or something. Now, granted, Seth looks like he's quite comfortable with the shape of his body here. But no, I don't think, you know, I understand that Hollywood and acting is about what you look like. Like, I would not work in Hollywood, right? Because I got way too much right here. However, if, you know, that doesn't mean that you should be unhealthy with it, right? I don't think that what we're seeing on her is healthy. If you look at her in her older works, like someone mentioned, she was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., she was in a couple of older movies, not old, but, you know, movies from a few years back, and she looked really good, okay? She's still thin. She's always been small, but I think, well, Tilly is unhealthy in the opposite direction, Tentacle. Yeah, she looked good in G.I. Joe. So it's one thing to be thin. It's another thing to be so thin that I think that you're getting on borderline sickly. And that's where I think she's heading, unfortunately. And I hate to see that because I don't, you know, I just, it bothers me that women do that. And man, this webcam really is stupid dark. I am truly sorry about that. I got to get this fixed as soon as I can. You saw Mirror toys at Walmart? That's cool. I didn't know they had them. So the admirals are considering extraditing him if he's guilty, and it's only a discussion, they said. But and Kelly's like, well, they're going to torture and kill him. But yeah. Okay. You think Baby Got Back should be playing? I do like that song. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, so Admiral Ted Danson is at his bar, and he's telling everybody that, you know, it's absolutely imperative that you find out if he's guilty. And I agree. That I think that Mercer's got a tough task ahead of him. But and so now we're seeing the climax of Planet of the Apes for some reason. Okay, he's showing. Gordon is showing Planet of the Apes to the girl. Bird of Prey has a picture of season 1 Kelly. Yeah. And so I'll show. So thank you, Bird, for the picture. So there's Kelly from season 1. And you can see definite difference. Now, granted, I like her hair in season 2 better. I think that is definitely an improvement. But you can see right here, I think she's still thin, right? She's not like fat or anything like that, but she has some curvature, especially like her, and I realize that my face is in front of her, so let me move my stuff over there. All right, so, but if you look at her hips, she had, you know, right there, and compare that to what we're seeing now, it's a huge difference, right? And it's not like, when I say huge, I mean, it's probably only like a, you know, 10, 15 pound difference in her, but it's like, wow, she looks way too thin now. And no, I don't think it's the cut of the uniform, because if it was the cut of the uniform, you wouldn't see, I mean, because you can see the shape underneath that. I think the new uniforms, I think they're just, the basic design is pretty similar, but yeah. I don't like that she's losing weight. I really don't. And I know that sounds horrible and sexist, but I don't care. I'm just being honest about it. And what did you say in there, Mercer? Oh, okay, so here's what Mercer is sending. Is the, looks like it's Sulu. That's so funny. All right, so look at this. Oh, man, I would buy that. Although what's funny is if you look at the shelf it's on, it says DC Aquaman on the shelf. Man, I would so buy that. But you know what that should be called is the Star Trek Rape Kit. Sulu and Uhura from the Mirror Universe. Oh my. But yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to, you know, when me and Mrs. H-Checker head out later, I am definitely gonna stop by Walmart and look for that, because if they have it, I have to buy it. I absolutely have to, if it's within reason as far as price. All right, so let's continue on, because I'm not going to make it through this episode. I only got about a half an hour before I got to sign off, so let me keep going here. Oops. And so they're watching Planet of the Apes. By the way, in the not too distant future, just so you guys know, people who are subscribers to the website are going to be able to watch me do these reactions and actually see the video. More on that later when we get it set up. I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks we'll have that going, and I'm really excited about that. So Mercer is talking to Gordon, pulling him aside. Wants to know, yeah, he wants to know basically, is it possible that he could be telling the truth? That the Krill could be telling the truth, that he's, you know, done all this stuff. When's patron stream? Well, not till tomorrow. Does Gordon look thinner in this episode? You know, I hadn't really noticed. And I think probably because he's wearing his jacket loose in this episode, so it's kind of hard to get a feel for if he's lost any weight. But at least looking at him right now, he doesn't look like he's unhealthy. It's kind of funny because the only male that I noticed, it seems like Seth has put on a few pounds. I like and Mercer, I like the Orville uniforms. I really do. I think that they're a nice uniform. So Gordon is now taking the opinion that that the Krill are a bunch of fundamentalist fanatics who butcher people, and therefore peace is a bad idea. And it's interesting because, again, I think that Seth is making the point that Gordon is wrong here. That saving lives is more important. So, and I see Bird of Prey found the action figure set on Target's website. Thank you, Bird of Prey. Grimes, oh, are they engaged? I didn't know that. Then maybe they are losing weight together. The shoulders make a difference. They updated the badges. You can see Orville badges for, you can now get a Orville badge for $10. That's cool. I do like the newer uniforms though, because and I think that's kind of cool, them wearing the jacket open. The Uhura is ugly. I didn't take a good look at her, but I just think it's funny because it does look like a Star Trek rape kit to me. So now, Orin is asking Gordon to steal a shuttle from the Orville so that they can prevent the peace treaty. The man is a freaking terrorist. I don't know what he's doing, but he's a freaking terrorist. He's got to have some kind of bomb or some weapon like that he's going to use. So, yeah. So props to Seth MacFarlane for not making the Krill the villain of this episode. I'm impressed. Is Anti-Tracker marketing deal still good? Hey, yeah, you know the marketing deal. Yes. Firefly fans. I'm not sure what you mean, Hector. And more beautiful ship porn. I don't know. Yeah. Seth Stills plays it safe with this episode. Well, that seems to be the Orville's Achilles heel, is that they do tend to do the almost Voyager level magic reset button sometimes. They've never had anything that really had any lasting effects. Because here's the thing. I mean, Isaac hasn't even been in this episode, and there's been no mention of it except for the fact that they could use the Krill as allies because of the Kalons. But I would expect at least some talk about Isaac being, you know, can they trust him and that kind of thing. That's interesting. So he's stolen a couple of containers that they used to store quantum plasma, but no quantum plasma is missing. And they were talking about how quantum plasma could be used as a weapon. But since no quantum plasma is missing, he must be using something else and using those containers for it. I want a Firefly miniseries. I would love to see Firefly come back. Oh, those are nice. Yeah, I see the Orville engineer badge. I would want the command badge, though. That's the badge I put in my map. So Gordon looks like, I think he's going to tell Talia what's going on. Mercer, it's on page 2, the command badge. I'm not surprised. Yeah, I don't want to miss too much of what's going on in the show, but yeah, I'm saving that page though. I'm going to look over the stuff that they have. I'd like to buy the shirt. I actually would like that shirt, the actual tunic that they wear. Orville needs to do a version of the Mirror Universe. They absolutely do. Man, do they? And why not? It's not like Star Trek has the copyright on alternate dimensions and evil twins. So yeah, Gordon's pouring him and Talia a drink, I think because he's really nervous about telling her the truth. Yeah, he just downed that drink. Yep, he's going to tell her now. Yeah, he told her, Orin asked him to steal a shuttle. Evil twins belong to Betty Davis. Tala. I know, I'm going to get it right eventually, MK. Thank you. By the way, I never take offense to being corrected on stuff like that. When I mispronounce stuff, please call me out on it. Eventually, I will drill it into my head. But I will not get offended for being corrected on stuff like that. So Gordon is really, I gotta say, Grimes is putting in a really good performance here. And this is off of one of the funniest performances he's ever done. This is a serious conundrum for him in this episode because of the fact that it's his best friend that he guys. Yes, Bird of Prey. That's how Bird of Prey pronounces geisha, is geyser. So I think Mercer has the real challenge in this. Well, Mercer has the dilemma that he's dealing with, but Gordon, I'm just saying that Grimes is doing a really good job at playing someone who's really conflicted. I don't think that Mercer is as conflicted as Gordon. Mercer is just really frustrated. Gordon is conflicted because he's got his friend who he knows is up to no good. Even though he agrees with the cause, he knows that what he's doing is wrong. So yeah. And so now Gordon and Orin are sneaking to the shuttle bay, it looks like. Which there's no way, and I know you already said he played it safe, so I'm going to say there's no way that Gordon is actually on board with this. So Tala is like stopping him, and I'm not convinced this is real. This could be either they tricked him, put him on the holodeck, or Tala's just playing along something. I don't, because Gordon just shot her, and there's no way Gordon would not shoot a crew member like that. And so I don't believe, and yes, so Tala has now been shot, so confirming your theory, she gets shot all the time. Gordon and Oren are stealing the shuttle, so I think this is a setup. Assuming they're not on the holodeck or the simulator room, and based on what we're seeing here, I don't think they're in the simulator room, so I'm going to say that this whole thing was just a setup. Yep, and there it is. So Bortus just said, tracking device is functioning. So they knew he was doing it. Kiali. I got to get that down. Oh, Isaac's there. And all he says is, the krill vessel is hailing us. That's Isaac's one line. And Captain Mercer's trying to put off the krill. Well, obviously they're trying to figure out what they're doing. Kiali. Tala Kiali. I'm going to get it out eventually. So yeah, he's got a bomb or something on the shuttle that he can take out the krill ship with. So now Talia, however the hell you say it, Talia, I think. So the Talia is checking up on the daughter. And the daughter has track marks on her arm, which Talia saw. So I think, so yeah, something is Tala is gonna, Tala sees the track marks, the needle marks on her arm. And so that means that either they injected her with something that they took out, or there's something in her that they can take out, and that's what they're using for their weapon. So yeah, she's definitely, that's how they smuggled it. It's inside her. And so, oops. And she talks. This whole time she has not been talking. And now she pulls a knife on Tala, but of course, that's a stupid move. All right, that was awesome. All right, so that, let me bring that up for you guys, because that was freaking awesome. Yeah, she looked like a heroin addict. She really did. So, I mean, all right, so this is good here. So let me bring this up. So you see she's got the knife to her throat. And it helps if I bring the mouse over to the right part, so I'm going to mute it. And so now check this out.
You ever met a Selayan before?
No.
You have now.
That is a badass moment right there. And it's like, yeah, can a knife even penetrate Selayan skin? I don't know, but that's, I think that's good. So and again, Hollywood, you know what? Tala is not masculine. Tala is not lacking in emotion, but she is an absolute badass. And so you can, in fact, have physically powerful, strong women, as long as there's a reasonable explanation for why they are ridiculously overpowered. But yeah. But that was absolutely perfectly done. You ever met a Salam before? No? Well, you have now. It's like, that was good. That was good. Let us move on here. We only got a little bit of time left. So yeah, I like Tala. Oh, her blood is like orange. That's weird. And the doctor... Something's up. The doctor... Okay, so the girl has orange blood, and the doctor immediately recognizes it and is telling Tala to get the hell out. So something is up. It's something biological, and the doctor recognizes it, obviously. So she's telling her to lock the door. So she's purging all the nitrogen out of the quarters, and they set up a force field around the quarters. So obviously something about that orange blood has set the doctor off. So either it's some species that she is, or something she has injected in her that the doctor has seen before. So that's that makes sense. So they got a level 12 force field. Okay, it's got to be a species thing, because Tala just said to the doctor, hey, wait, give me answers. What's up with his daughter? And she goes, whatever that woman is, that is not his daughter. So it's something, obviously something biological. She is not human. And otherwise it wouldn't make sense that she would say that. Because if she was injected with something or modified, that could still be his daughter. But considering that she's saying that's clearly not his daughter, then it's some other species. She's an Enval.
It's a race of humanoids from a distant star system called the Orville. Their blood cells contain an iodide compound, which, when exposed to a nitrogen-rich atmosphere, renders the plasma highly unstable. So you're saying when their blood hits the air, it becomes an explosive substance.
So this is how, okay. Writers of Star Trek Discovery, this is how you write your technobabble. This is absolutely perfect technobabble. I'm going to rewind it. I'm not going to play the audio because it's a little too long, but I'm just going to read the lines because I have the subtitles on. And Rome, it's not about whether the terminology is real, because, I mean, a lot of the terminology they use in Star Trek, even in Star Trek Discovery, a lot of the terminology is real, but they're just using, but what they'll do is, for example, and this is something that's been really, really irking me with Discovery. Fortunately, they didn't do it in this last episode, but they really do what they do in Futurama, where they're like, well, if we can simply reverse the inverse a pulse of negative tachyons and do this, then we can cause an overload in the systems. And then, you mean like putting too much air in a balloon, right? And so the with that kind of an analogy thing is okay every once in a while, but like there was an episode of Orville like 2 or 3 episodes ago where they did it like 3 times in one episode, and it was just as ridiculous as when Bender said the air in a balloon line from Futurama. But here, this is done perfectly, because this is an explanation that actually makes sense if you didn't quite follow what the doctor said. So what the doctor says about this alien race is that their blood cells contain an iodine compound which, when exposed to a nitrogen-rich atmosphere, renders the plasma highly unstable. And so John's like, wait, so what are you saying? And then Kelly says, when their blood hits the air, it becomes an explosive substance. Bam! That is how you do it. Because what she explained and what the doctor said do in fact mean the same thing. And just like, and you know, we've seen that in the original series, of course. A lot of times Spock would say something, then McCoy would say it in a more folksy way, right? And that kind of thing. So that's how you do technobabble well, as opposed to, you know, granted, Star Trek Discovery, it's funny because Star Trek Discovery's technobabble is some of the most incoherent, but really the worst Star Trek show to date with technobabble still got to be Voyager. I like how they use humans that would change. I like how they use how humans would change on different planets over time. Yeah. And that's cool too. The separation and, you know, and then speciesization. But yes, you're right, Hector. Expanse too does it very, very well. So their homeworld has something in their air that neutralizes that. And so, but when they come into our atmosphere, then they become extremely dangerous if their blood is exposed to the air. That's actually a cool idea. So, yeah, and that makes sense. So he stole the storage cells from engineering to store her blood and make a bomb. So they figured out that he's basically doing a suicide run against the Krill to prevent peace. And so now the Orville is rushing into the rescue. So Oren is finally going to explain to Gordon what the plan is, which of course we already know what the plan is. A magnetic compass needle anti-tracker or near the North Pole debates where and how to spin. Okay. I'm not sure what you mean, Jay. So now he's saying that his daughter actually died 20 years ago, and that woman is just somebody that he met, and so they've been working together to be terrorists against the Krill. So Gordon immediately pulls a weapon on Oren. Oren and Gordon are having a moment here. This is Oren's starting to look a little crazy. And, you know, here's the thing. I get it. Oren's family was butchered by the Krill. And so I understand, you know, I think his motivations are logical, even if he is wrong. So Michael Burnham and brother compared the interface to the effect of the compass needle on the North Pole. Yes, thank you. Thank you. That's what you were talking about. Yes, that was one of the technobabble moments that was horrible. The title of the episode is about the girl's blood. I forgot. What was the name? I know I have it on the stream title, but I'm like sitting here watching it. Oh, Blood of Patriots. Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. So Oren arms the weapon. Sonar in space. Oh, don't even get me started about the sonar in space, Rome. That's the... So Orm's arm the bomb, and the bomb can't be disarmed. Ooh, Gordon badassery. Gordon shoots the console out, so there is no way to take the bomb to the Krill ship. And now Gordon's grabbing the space suits and saying, okay, we're going to jump ship. And so, yes, Oren is completely suicidal at this point. Why he wanted to take Gordon with him, I'm not sure. But he is clearly suicidal. Yeah, what he should have done was stunned him the second that he pulled out his blaster instead of waiting. That's one thing that bothers me about sci-fi, and they do this in Star Trek a lot, and obviously Orville's is another one that qualifies for it. If you have weapons that can effectively render a person unconscious for a brief period of time and not in any way be fatal, in a situation like this, you just immediately stun him. You don't hesitate. You just shoot him right there, so that everything is safe, turn the shuttle around, get back to the Orville, and then you have him. But yeah. Surf says, Antrick, your stream is better with a low, gritty lighting cam effect. Leave it as is. I have to respectfully disagree. Well, I mean, I guess I'm not that pretty, so I guess I could see that. But, let's see. So Gordon is walking out the back of the shuttle. Really kind of an interesting shot here. And this is the beauty of good direction. I don't know who directed this episode, but I'm going to show you. This is the most basic shot in the world. It's just stars. There's nothing else in the shot. What you can't see from the still image, though, if I unpause it for a second, is that everything is slowly rotating. And it really gives you that feeling of that bottomless emptiness of space. And so it really gives you the feeling that Gordon is... was it Rebecca Rodriguez directed this one? Well, she did an incredible job with that. So the the low lighting is great. I imagine Anti-Trigger's live stream for my basement. Yes, I'm in your basement. So... this is actually really good stuff. I like this. In that it feels like you're out in space. It doesn't feel like he's sitting on a soundstage in front of a blue screen. So I like that. They made Orrin crazy, wanting to kill Gordon so that he would have no sympathy for him when he dies. So we would have... well, the crazy, though, I can but here's the thing. I just don't understand why, you know, and this is... like, this is a flaw in the writing. I'll give you that, Bird, is that I'm down with Orrin being crazy, because I can only imagine what someone feels like after watching his wife and daughter get butchered and then spend the next 20 years in a prison camp. Okay? Him being absolute crazy, I'm totally down for. I'm not down for him wanting to drag Gordon onto the shuttle with him. I could see him saying, get me a shuttle, not let's go. Unless he had some way to survive it, because it doesn't make sense that he would want to do a suicide run. Unless if he was suicidal, fine. But I don't see why he would want to kill his best friend. Why does it kind of look a little like Space Odyssey 2001 Spacewalk when Gordon's spacewalk and jump off the shuttle? Maybe because they both did it well. Imagine if he didn't die and they had to turn him into the krill. And then he'll become Volk or Ash or whatever. So Gordon takes the jump off the shuttle. And so the shuttle blows up. Gordon goes flying. And another really good shot here. Again, kudos to the directing on this. Is this shot here. Where we, again, you really feel like he is out in space, spinning out of control, probably feeling incredibly dizzy and sick right now as he's spinning around. Look at that. That is so well done. Those visuals are gorgeous. So you know, props to the director. Props to Grimes' performance here. It's too bad they did, unfortunately, take kind of a lazy way out with the writing. But yeah, I'm really impressed overall with Grimes. He's even more my favorite character now. And of course, Tractor Beam shows up and is sucking him up onto the Orville. I think it would have been better if it was the Krill that rescued him, not the Orville, personally, but that's just me. And so now back on the planet, the Krill and the Orville are there. I'm sure they're going to sign the peace, the declaration to begin the talks for peace. Yep, so they are signing it now. So we see the signing of the treaty here. Ed, Mercer. His name is Ed, not Edward. And the Krill signature, which is interesting. So the Krill signed, but now they're leaving. They don't seem to love each other, but at least they're willing to talk, and that's actually good. I don't think that Oren was a Kalon or a Krill, though. I think he's just a dead person. And again, the episode, look at it. Gordon, it's like... The way he's just blankly looking there, it really looks like, wow, you know, he got reunited with a friend and then he lost that friend. And I can't, you know, Grimes, I got a lot of respect for the man. I mean, it's like when he sang 2 episodes ago, holy crap, the man can sing. He's got pipes on him. I was completely blown away. And here we're seeing that he can actually take on the serious acting chops too. So now we're in the epilogue. Mercer is coming in talking to Gordon about, you know, that he's saying he's sorry about what happened, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I agree, John. The acting in this episode is next level for them. They did a great job. Hector's saying no for something. I'm not sure what you're saying no to, Hector. The Kalon will have an advantage only defending one solar system and kind of wolfpack anyone anywhere in Krill Union space. Well, we'll see. I'm sure they're going to have to do something with the Kalon. It'll be interesting to see what happens, because ultimately, the only thing that really would make sense, and this would prove the Kalon right, but the only thing that would make sense would be an all-out offensive against the Kalon, to have the Union and the Krill just wipe them out. And we never hear about the daughter again. Well, yeah, that's the other thing, is what is up with her? So obviously she is still on the ship, but we don't know. I mean, are they going to bring her up? I hope so, but they probably won't. You're probably right about that. So Ed is confiding that you know, Gordon is his anchor. Gordon is the person he can talk to and be unsure about, which is actually kind of a cool thing. Like, you know, the captain of the ship can't appear to be questioning things in front of his crew, but Gordon is his longtime buddy, and so he can do that with Gordon. So the two of them are going to have a drink together and talk about Oren. And I'm assuming we're at the roll credits moment. Yes. The departing ship porn shot that we got to have, because, damn, they know how to film a starship on this show. And there we go. Credits roll. Not too bad. So, bottom line on this episode, was it their best episode? Absolutely not. Was it a bad episode? Absolutely not. I would say that on the grand scale things, I would probably give it a 7.5, between 7.5 and an 8. You know, when I think, you know, I can't go to 9 or 10. 9 or 10 I consider great, right? 6 through 8 I consider good. You know, 5 and below, or, you know, 4 or 5, meh. Or actually really between 4 and 6, meh, and below 4 is crap, right? So the, but I do really, and Josh, I appreciate the ship porn. I've always liked ship porn in Trek, but they do it really well on this show. So the Captain Marvel, the Orville, yeah, except that Captain Marvel, the difference is that Captain Marvel's fatal flaw was Brie Larson. The flaw of this episode was really, like you even called it out, that they played it safe again. I really would like Seth to embolden himself a little bit, take a chance, make some changes, kill some characters, do whatever need. The problem is, I know you don't like, for example, you set up something good. The last thing you want to do is kill off a character because you've got something good going and you want to stretch it out for 30 years. But can you imagine what happens to Mercer if Gordon dies, right? Or imagine what happens to the crew if Mercer dies. Or, you know, if the leader of the Kalon at the end of Identity was Isaac, instead of having him just come back and be everybody, you know? And so take chances. Do stuff like that. That's one of the things I really liked about Ronald D. Moore's take on Battlestar Galactica. They killed people on that show. But even there were people that were safe. You knew from day one there was no way that Adama was ever going to die, right? You knew that the main characters were, for the most part, pretty safe. But and I have to disagree, Rome Hater. I don't think Ron Moore sucks ass. All right, I don't agree with his politics and stuff, but as far as he was willing to take some chances with BSG 2004, and I truly appreciate it. But this show is good. It's really, really good. At times it's great, but yes, they're playing it safe. It feels like, in some ways, a little too much like classic Trek, in that you know at the end of every episode, everything is going to be exactly how it was at the beginning of that episode. So that's really the fatal flaw of the Orville for me. If poor Gordon turns into the Star Child from the 2001 movie that louses up the story Bible for the Orville, they lose the universe. I don't think they're going to do that, but you get what I'm saying. So, Star Trek TNG killed a few people, most notably Tasha Yar. Well, the only reason they killed Tasha Yar was because Denise Crosby wanted out. That was stupid of her. And she even said as much later on, that was stupid of me. She should not have left the show. Yeah, Dax, I think, yeah, same thing. Here's the thing with I can't remember the actress's name, but who played Dax. Why the hell would you leave a show at the end of season 6 when you know it's only running for 7 seasons? What is the point of that? If somebody is going to offer you, thank you, Terry Farrell. If somebody's going to offer you 7 seasons as a television actor, that is good money, number one, and you can be a part of this big thing. Why the hell would you piss that away? I genuinely don't understand. Oh, by the way, Dr. Alex is here. You got the new mic. Excellent. What did you get? Did you end up getting a Shure mic, or did you get something else? And when you answer that, I have another question for you that comes from Mrs. Anti-Trekker, because we were talking about it today. But your favorite class? Oh yeah, I'm not saying that. I love class. You know, TOS is my absolute favorite Trek, and probably my favorite television show of all time. However, that being said, I'm not saying there's no such thing as a perfect series. And the magic reset at the end of every episode was a problem, even with classic Trek. It was a problem in Next Gen and all that. And I don't like that. Really, the first time they took a big chance in classic Trek wasn't until Star Trek II, when they killed Spock. And that was wonderfully done. And so, but you see, I think that was stupid of Terry Farrell to leave a show over money. She was not the star of the show, but whatever. And Chuck, what did you think of the classic footage from the cage at the start of the last episode of Discovery? I thought it was cool. I thought the footage itself, I like the transitions. I like how they presented it, but it was too jarring going from that and then trying to say that this is the same universe. You got a Shure PG-48 cheap end dynamic mic, but sounds identical to my dead 565 SD came from, so perfectly happy. Cool. All right, so here's my question. I don't know if you know the answer to this, Doctor, but me and Mrs. Anti-Trekker were watching Saturday Night Live from last night. Idris Elba was the host, and I'm sure you know Idris Elba is from your neck of the woods. And he said something that English people say all the time. He referred to his wife as a bird. And so where did the term bird come from to refer to females? Why do English people refer to women as birds? I never understood that. So if you could tell me that, I would love to know. Hope you find the Sulu Huratoi. I do too. That's too funny. So 1967 Carnaby Street. Not sure what that's a reference. Is that a movie or something? It's the same thing as Chicks. That's kind of where I was thinking, but I just didn't know if there was a specific origin to that. And so I was just curious because Dr. Alex is, you know, from England, making him more intelligent than the rest of us. Probably just down to high-pitched chatter and twittering. Wow. Way to show your mansplaining there, Alex. Thank you. You've just completely ruined your chances with Mrs. Anti-Tracker with that, I'm sure. If you're old enough to have seen Top Gun in theater, Gordon is now your favorite Orville character. That's absolutely true, Ensign Ricky. And when he said, just a walk in the park, Kazansky, I about died. That was awesome. Bird is a contemporary to Go-Go Boots. How does it make sense? How does that make sense? As early as 1300, Bird was used for girl, but it's probably owning the confusion with another similar Middle English word, bird, which also meant young woman. Fair enough. I assume Google told you that. Fred says, I mansplain at work and manspread on the bus. Well, there we go. Avis is Latin for bird. Well, yeah, well, but that's, you know, avian. So, yeah, so Avis of prey. Thank Avis for bird of prey. I had to think back as to old-timey historical types with, yeah, old-timey historical types. All right, guys, so I'm going to wrap it up there, but thank you for hanging out with me. Do I like Wallace and Gromit? I've only seen very little of it, honestly, so I don't know jack about Wallace and Gromit. I know that Mrs. Anti-Trekker, I believe, does like Wallace and Gromit, but I've never really watched it. When the Red Angel went back in time and showed Spock Burnham's death and Sarek saved Burnham, was that where the timeline split? I don't know for sure, because if so, it seems like because that wouldn't really have the effect on the look of the tech. I still think it's an earlier split, but yeah. Yeah, it's more of a Beavis and Butthead scratch. I think you're right, Multi-Gun Man. Anyway, guys, thank you all for hanging out with me while I was watching this. I can't believe that you guys actually watch me doing what I'm doing. And like I said, in the next few weeks, it's going to be really exciting where I'm going to be able to have the supporters of the channel actually watch the show with me. I think that's going to be a lot of fun when we can get that set up. Mercer says, Rush, best band ever. Rush is definitely a good band, but I don't know if I'd say best band ever. Anyway, you just got the notification. Well, you know, you are in London, right? So, yeah, you guys are a little slow. After all, you are English, right? So, you inherently suck. You just do. It's a fact. Because you're English. What more could I possibly say?